Well, the Bradford Bulls Media Day is always a popular event. It gives journalists perhaps the first chance to meet some of the new signings, and it's got nothing to do whatsoever with a free feed.
It's been fantastic. The first time I come over here and trained was the first time I trained with a team in pretty much 10 months, and the boys here are fantastic, and I think they're building a good culture here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great team spirit here. The position of the team is it's unlike Bradford because they've been at the top for so long.
Yeah, well, I'm only coming in. I believe last year was the first time they'd missed the semi-final series. So all the boys are looking to move forward this year, and like I said, we've got a fantastic young team here, like a lot of young boys mixed with some of the older boys, and I think we've got what it takes to do something good this year. Yeah,
it would seem to be a good blend of young and experienced and overseas and homegrown as well.
Definitely. I was really surprised with the amount of good young players here. I knew a few of the older players. When I say older, I mean like Jamie Langley is only 25 or something still, so it's not really old by any means. And I think the mixture of overseas players and English players is really good.
Last season was disappointing and very frustrating in terms of we just missed out on the playoffs there, and we had a dreadful start to the season. But there was a bigger picture in place there, and our move to a brand new training complex has been a big part of that this season. We've had a huge turnaround in players, a turnaround in staff there as well, and we're up and ready to run and get 2010 under the way with what I believe is a very good squad considering the budget we've got, and a very good mix of older and younger players.
Yeah, you've moved some players out and brought some players in. Tell us about those players who are going to be playing for Bradford this season.
Yeah, I mean we've got plenty of NRL experience there, in terms of Glenn Hall and Heath Lestrange, Brett Carney and Matt Orford. We've potentially out of that little bunch there we've got a new 6, 7 and 9 potentially there, and very keen to strengthen in those areas there. In Glenn Hall we've got a tough, uncompromising front row. We've got 4 players there who are NRL battle-hardened, and I think in the 2 English recruits, and Danny Sculthorpe and Stuart Raiden, who have come under the radar a little bit in terms of the amount of publicity the Australian players have got. We've got 2 real gems there, and 2 players who are very, very excited about working with this season.
Yeah, it didn't go where that we wanted last year, and I think everyone knows we started poorly and we can't afford to do that this season coming up. We finished well, and hopefully we can take that through to next season.
You had some big names leaving, Deacon, Burgess, but some of the names arriving must be fairly exciting for you all.
Yeah, I'm chuffed to bits with it. Everybody's training really well. We're training at house down. This is the best pre-season I've ever had. It's been tough, but the new lads that we've had come in, they've really ripped in, and they're good lads, and hopefully we should. I think you need to gel well quickly. That's the key to it. We all need to get stuck into the start season, and I think if you can get that roll on early, then it should set us up for a good year.
I mean, it shows, the Super League has shown over the last few years that any team can make those playoffs if they're consistent, they can stay healthy, and if they can score points. And if you can do that, presumably you must feel confident that you can finish higher up the table.
Yeah, definitely. That's a big thing, keeping all your troops on pitch. Like, if you can keep everybody fit and healthy, then you're halfway there. We need to. You can't really do it about it, but avoid some of those big injuries, and hopefully we'll be at mix at end of season.
Now, what are you expecting from Super League? It's something new for you.
It is totally new. I've only played 2 games, and that was last year, and so that was a slim taste of what to expect. But definitely watched a few games last year, and it's an expansive game of footy. It seems fairly quick, and the standard's very high. So to compare it against NRL, people always say there's a bit of a step. I don't think there is. I think it's a false perception, and I just think it's going to be a challenging year. I think we've got a squad and a great roster here to do something special, but with a lot of hard work and a lot of time put into it, I think it's going to come, but we'll have to work very hard for that, and there's going to be some quality teams, but I think we're going to be up there. We got off to a really good start.
I mean, Bradford are one of the big names in Super League history over the time that Super League's been going, but of recent years they've not been doing as well as their fans expect, and I'm sure the players expect. Things seem to be turning around, certainly if the latter part of last season's anything to go by.
Yeah, well, I think the boys have spoken about it when I first came in last week about they weren't too happy with the results last year and how they turned out, and I think they probably underachieved, and from their own admission they felt that as well. So they've been working their backsides off over here ever since I got here anyway, and I heard before Chrissy they've been working very hard. But all that hard work now we have to transfer onto the pitch and get those combinations going fairly quickly. But I think there's a lot of fresh faces around at the moment, and I think there's a good balance between experience and youth. And there's a great culture within the club that I can feel already. So I'm very confident that Bradford are going to have a big season. Hopefully their fans will, the loyal fans will stick by us, and you'll see a new Bradford outfit come out this year, and we'll get off to a good start, and we'll be there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about that. We said about starting the season pretty strong. It sets you up for the rest of the year, really. Puts you in a mode of consistency and keeps you on a level. You might have a couple of slip-ups, but you'll always be up there, and that's what we aim for this year. Unlike last year, we lost the first few games, and it's pretty hard to call it back. When you get down there a bit, and everybody else is winning. So we've been aiming for that, and we've been talking about that this year, and we're going to do our best to win the first few games.
Expectation's always going to be a part of fans' thinking when it comes to Bradford Bulls, but you expect good things of yourselves, don't you?
Without a doubt, we expect to do very well this season. Very well. I'm from looking at some of the things I'm seeing in practice at this moment in time. I'm very encouraged by that, and I think the Super League competition this season will be a very tough competition. I think it'll be a very even competition again. I think that is a challenge for every coach and every player within this competition. But like I said, I expect us to do well. There's no two ways about it.
I mean, you've hinted at it there. I mean, the top 8 last season, there were 1 or 2 surprises that some people might not have picked. Who do you see as the teams who'll be the ones to watch, and who do you see any surprises?
I think obviously ourselves missing out for the first time was big news. I think Hull and Warrington missing out was also big news there as well in terms of the stature of those organisations, and certainly the recruitment and strengthening made by all 3 of our clubs there has been pretty impressive, and we'll certainly be pushing very, very hard, not only to break into the top 8, but to push as high up as we all possibly can as well, and certainly we're no different from that.
I know you like to concentrate on your group of players, but when you've looked at other teams who they've recruited, who are the players do you think to look out for who might be new to the competition this time?
Well, I think there's plenty. Of players, isn't there? And Hull have certainly, a couple of good Australians there in Fitzgibbon and O'Mealy there, and certainly across the whole spectrum. I was reading an article the other day about the number of Australians, and I think it's nearly 30 coming into the competition, and the average age, and there's some real quality coming into our competition. You look at Saints on the recruiting, and Soliola, and he's a top player. So it's plenty to look forward to in Super League this year.
So it's an optimistic Bradford Bulls side who will start the Super League season, and that's at Huddersfield, a local derby, and they'll be wanting to get off to a winning start.